What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the A-Game.
Join us as we recap this week in App State sports, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the A-Game Sports for weekly updates on everything App State sporting news and the latest on-set action.
Mountaineer Spotlight host Jay Boyd visits App State football's Pro Day. And stay tuned as we crown this week's Player of the Week.
I'm Gray Salter.
And I'm Austin Lopp.
And this is
the A-Game.
We are the champions. App State women's basketball claimed the WBI tournament title on Wednesday night in a packed home center that saw a record-breaking attendance of 1,823 fans for the women's basketball game. The Mountaineers defeated North Texas by an impressive 76-59 margin, with 75 of those points coming from the App State starters. Bailey Plummer continued her dominance in the paint, earning a career-high 22 rebounds against the Mean Green. 4 App State players scored in double figures, including redshirt senior Maddie Story, who finished her final game as a Mountaineer with 17 points and a championship trophy. With this win, the Mountaineers tied for the highest win improvement in program history with a 14-win turnaround, securing 22 victories along the way. And Austin, that WBI tournament, top to bottom, really impressive for this App State squad. They're 9-0 all time in this tournament, so they've played in it before. Also swept the whole tournament that time too, so they've had a lot of success in this WBI in the past. Priest Stanley was named MVP of the WBI. Over 4 games, 77 points, 15 boards, 4 assists, 4 steals. So pretty good averages there for her on those stats. And then Story and Plummer both named to the all-tournament team. App State women's basketball really closed out the season well.
Absolutely. They absolutely dominated this whole tournament. But let's take a look at the win against North Texas to secure the bag. 76-59 win, and App State outscored UNT in all quarters except the first, where they were outscored 22-15. We saw that they fell back a little bit, but were able to come back, which is really big. And it's really something that this team has been able to do all season. We know that they can win tight games, and especially when they're able to win 3 out of the 4 quarters, there's no question this team's going to get the bag for sure. Ashley Polisek scored 21 points and going 9 for 12, 4 rebounds and 4 assists. We had Story in her last game get 17 points on 7 and 11. App State, just in total, shot 49.2% from the floor, and UNT shot 32.8.
That's a big separation.
That window right there is the key to the win for me. They were able to secure those buckets and get the shots that they needed to. They saw UNT wasn't performing, shooting from the floor, and they did what they needed to, and they got the ball in the hole. They out-rebounded UNT 47-32. That's a 15-rebound margin. Another huge stat and another big key to this game for sure.
You take that shooting percentage from App State, 49.2, you pair that with a 15-rebound margin, winning that margin, you're giving yourself extra opportunities, and then you're capitalizing them on the other end. That's where App State really found their momentum, really got hot from shooting pretty much anywhere on the floor. But like you said, that first quarter was a little bit of an uphill battle, but once they hit their stride, that was really it for them. But looking at next season, I know it's early. The team's probably still partying from this win and being excited about it. But you know, you look at next season, Maddie Story, the only starter that's going to be leaving. She's only one of 2 seniors on the team. And then you just look at what they did this season as a whole. I mean, you talk about that 14-win turnaround. It was their first 20-win season since, I think, 2011. So big stuff going on here in the women's basketball program, and Angel Elderkin at the head coaching position. Austin, are we expecting this team maybe to compete for a Sun Belt title next year?
Absolutely. And you say it's too early to start talking about it, but that's our job. Coach Elderkin's down in New Orleans enjoying herself a cigar on Bourbon Street, but I'm excited to look forward to see what they got going on. You got to remember, at one point this team was in last place in the Sun Belt, and now they come through, they win the Women's Basketball Invitational. They have so many people coming back. This team, honestly, in my opinion, can compete for a conference title. We've been waiting for that. We were ready for that, and I think right now is the time, for sure. I don't see a reason that this team cannot turn it around and keep this steam and this heat going into next season, because, I mean, this is it. This is what dreams are made of right here, coming through, winning tournaments like this. it puts some extra gas in the tank for sure.
You've won the WBI title twice now. No reason they can't keep climbing that ladder and keep building up to bigger tournaments, bigger wins. Sun Belt tournament definitely going to be the goal in mind, I think, next year.
Absolutely.
After the break, we have a special field piece from the App State Club lacrosse team, and we'll recap this week in App State sports. Stay tuned.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Godwin. I'm a senior. I play defense, and this is my 4th year on the Appalachian State Men's Club lacrosse team. And so, like, what we're doing now for general practice, we're just kind of gearing up, getting ready. We start off, typically we get in 2 lines, take a lap, do some stretches, do a little dynamic workout, just kind of get the blood moving and muscles warmed up. We break up into some line drills. We just kind of throw the ball around, make sure we get our stick skills kind of warmed up. And after that, we break up into some more kind of rudimentary drills, just to kind of get the feet moving a little better. We do like a drill called side box, kind of split in half. It's kind of like a 2v3. It's kind of on the defense to talk and kind of get moving. After that, we'll probably go into more like positional work, where the defense kind of splits up away from the offense. And then we'll defense will work on clears, maybe some long toss, some more footwork. The offense will run their offense. It's not my area. And then towards the end of practice, we'll bring it together and do some 6s, just like 6v6 with the goalie, live shots. We try and incorporate the clears into that. Yeah, it's just basically like game scenario, and that's what's really beneficial for us, and especially for this weekend against a game against Charlotte and University of North Florida. And so we're trying to incorporate some of their strategies into our practice and try and replicate that, and to hopefully get the dub this weekend.
App State baseball dropped the first 2 games of last weekend's Sun Belt Conference series against Texas State before taking Game 3 in a 3-0 shutout. The Mountaineers returned to action on Tuesday night, building an early lead against Wake Forest, but ultimately falling 10-6 at home.
App State softball won their 4th Sun Belt Conference series last weekend, taking down the Jaguars of South Alabama in 2 out of 3 games. Pitcher Kenzie Longenecker got the win in Game 1 and Game 3, securing the series and continuing their dominant season. Longenecker now has a 14-1 record, tying the 2nd-place record for the most wins in a single season in App State history. The Mountaineers got back into action on Wednesday night, sweeping North Carolina Central in both games of the doubleheader.
The Appalachian State men's and women's golf teams competed this week, with the women placing 9th in the John Kirk Panther Intercollegiate Tournament and the men placing 14th in the Wofford Invitational. Both teams will be competing in the Sun Belt Golf Championships later this month.
App State football held its pro day this Thursday with 23 NFL teams and 28 representatives in attendance. Mountaineer Spotlight host Jay Boyd visited the event to check out all 8 App State participants.
This week, we took Mountaineer Spotlight on the road as we went to Sofield Indoor Practice Facility, where App State just finished up their 2019 Pro Day.
Austin, give us a general breakdown. How'd you feel like the day went for yourself?
I feel like it was a pretty good day. I was able to show some best ability, so I think it was a pretty good day.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw a couple of 40s that looked better than pretty good. I mean, did you feel like you ran those well?
My first 40 was okay. My second 40 felt better. I haven't seen any time, so I just been focusing on my training, so hopefully the training pays off. You know.
Yeah, we doing real good. Like, I'm improving. Like, I was ahead of schedule with what they thought. Like, some coaches, you know, out here didn't think they said, like, I thought you would be a little more, you know, limpy than I was. But, I mean, I'm cutting on it and everything. like I said, I feel like that was a part of that transition in me after the combine, that mindset, just putting that trust in it. Like, you know, I strengthened it good enough. They're saying I'm okay. I just got to go out here and perform. So that's exactly what I did today.
Got a couple of cheers from the former teammates after that 40 run. How'd you feel about it?
I felt good. I mean, I knew the boys were gonna come in here and motivate us, and I mean, that's the kind of team we had last year. That's the kind of team they'll keep having. I mean, we always cheer for each other and stuff like this. So.
Yeah, I'm sure you want to be excited for them, but you're also trying to lock in and kind of get ready for your own stuff as well.
You know, it kind of made me happy, you know, seeing JJ go through drills, you know, it hurts that what happened to him at Arkansas State, and then just to see him come out and compete, you know, and follow his dream, you know what I'm saying? That was my roommate for a couple years, so that's all we talked about, coming to watch Ronald Blair and Pro Day, Doug Middleton, so to actually be out here and compete and do what they did, it's a blessing, man.
For Mountaineer Spotlight, this is Jay Boyd. Back to you guys.
Now it's time for our Player of the Week.
Our Player of the Week this week was chosen as the WBI Tournament MVP and played a huge role in App State's championship run. We're, of course, talking about guard Pre Stanley. This is actually the second time in 3 weeks that Stanley has been crowned our Player of the Week, but she's just been so impressive all season long, and especially here in the postseason.
No doubt she definitely has, but that's going to do it for this week's episode of The A-Game. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to give us a follow on Instagram at The A-Game Sports for all the latest A-Game content. Wrapping up here in the studio, I'm Gray Salter.
And I'm Austin Lopp. Join us again next week. Thanks for watching, guys.